Think about your favorite food you love to eat. And what if I told you that there is a much better, more delicious food than that? And that is the food of God. No one can make better food than God. So today I'm going to talk about the perfect food of God. That is fruits, vegetables, any plant yielding seed. We see this in Genesis 1:29. And God said, "Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat." That word meat is referring to food. So now I want to explain this verse because this verse is super powerful. Not only did God give us fruit, these plants that are yielding seeds, as our first food, as our only food. After we fall, He lets us eat any food. But then we see a prophecy, a dream, a vision in the book of Isaiah. If we go to Isaiah 11, 6 through 9, and again Isaiah 65, 25. The wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf and the young lion and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them, and the cow and the bear shall feed. Their young ones shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox, and the sucking child shall play on the hole of the asp, or the cobra, and the weaned child shall put his hand on the cockatrice den, or in the viper's den. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Lord, as the waters cover the sea. So here Isaiah is explaining a vision, a prophecy of this kingdom of heaven coming down to earth, and how the earth is going to be the new earth. There's not going to be any death, and so it's going to go back exactly how it was in Eden. Eating raw foods, eating living raw foods, there's no death there. And so there is a reason why God gives us these raw foods, these foods that come out of the earth as our food, as our nutrition. Plants, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, legumes, and grains. They have every single component, compound, macronutrient, vitamin, mineral, amino acid, everything the body needs. The earth provides it. First, let's look at the human being. We as humans, we are bioelectrical beings. All of our organs and tissues and cells are connected by electricity. But you can measure a human by how much electromagnetic energy is flowing through our body. We measure this in angstroms, and a typical healthy human being is running at about 7,000 angstroms of electromagnetic energy. Now to put it in perspective, a sick cancer patient is running at about 5,250 angstroms of electromagnetic energy. Now, if we look at fruit, if we measure a fruit, it runs at about 12,000 to 13,000 angstroms of electromagnetic energy. So this is almost double the amount of a healthy human being. Now, if we take a piece of flesh, meat, chicken, pork, beef, any meat, fish, it's a dead piece of flesh. It has zero energy in it. And so, with the law of homeostasis in place, we can see that if we're at 7,000 and we eat something that's at 0, we're gonna balance out at 3,500. But if we're a healthy human and we eat a food that's so high in energy, we're gonna go up and we're gonna balance out. Vegetables are around 8,000 to 9,000, and this plays a big role in neurological cases or in people that are very degenerate, have a lot of acidity in their body, like very sick cancer patients. These people have to be on 100% fruit to get that energy back. And knowing this simple physics and this simple chemistry can make the difference in a life or death situation. For example, we had a patient. She was degenerating very fast. Her own body was eating at her bones. She had a diagnosis of sclerodermia. It's basically when your own body starts destroying your own bones and body. So much acidity that her bones were just like halfway gone. She had so many very disgusting like scabs all over her legs and feet. She could barely walk. We had to carry her everywhere. And at that time, I was fully on the raw because I had studied this, I had studied the physics and the chemistry, and I knew if we gave her anything else, it wouldn't go well. And at that time, we ended up going with bone broth because we thought, okay, we needed to give her some protein. Because she was so skinny, we needed to give her some protein to rebuild, and while detoxing, we need to keep rebuilding. I knew it wasn't going to work because I had studied the physics, the energy of the foods. There was zero energy in that broth. The energy is what the body needs. The body will literally break down your protein structure, your muscles, to get any last sugar, any last energy, so it can keep the body alive. And that is because we're a carbon-based being. We need energy. We need simple sugars. We need carbohydrates, simple carbohydrates, not the complex carbohydrates, not the breads and the pastas and all of these doughs and all that stuff. We need simple carbohydrates, raw, living foods, fruits and vegetables. The beans and the rice and the grains, legumes, if they're sprouted, those provide energy. They're living once they're sprouted. But if they're not sprouted, they have really low energy or none at all. And so at this moment, she started having severe kind of reactions to the bone broth. And so at that point, we were like, okay, let's just put her on fruits and vegetables. We were doing other therapies as well and started giving her some teas. And she was with us like 6 weeks at the house. And we saw very great results. Like her body, from where she was at to in 6 weeks, it was very amazing. We only have a couple of pictures, but I'll show the pictures here. She of course is still healing because her whole life she's been eating predominantly acidic lifestyle, living in a predominantly acidic lifestyle, and so it's not going to be easy. For a case like that, it's not even going to take 1 year to fully heal. And so she's been at this already 1.5 years, 2 years, and she's still on her healing journey. She's healed so much, and all the new information that we've been learning, we've been providing her and letting her apply it and helping her to apply it so she can get even greater results. but she went from a very degenerate, severe, chronic condition to now moving around. She's walking, she's healing, and it's all because she is eating these high energy, high simple sugar foods, the food of God. God created fruits specifically for us humans. And he created it so perfectly. When we read in the Bible, we see so many analogies for fruit. We see the word fruit everywhere, like the fruits of the Spirit. We see the righteous by their good fruits, bad fruits, good fruits. We see that in the beginning, God plants trees of the knowledge of good and evil. He plants the tree of life. We see all these analogies referencing fruits, and it is one of the first foods he gave us, fruits. We see other mentions in Ezekiel 47:12, where he mentions the fruit of the tree shall be for our food, and the leaves for our medicine. And another reason why the fruits are the perfect food is because when we study biology, we study the vertebrates. There's 4 different vertebrates. There's the carnivore, there's the omnivore, and there's the herbivore and the frugivore. Now, if you look at the meats that we eat, the most common is like chicken, beef, pork, fish. Now, look at what these animals eat. They don't eat any meat. They don't eat any meat to get their protein. We see the biggest animals like gorillas, elephants, rhinos, the strongest animals, gorillas and chimpanzees. We see the oldest, wisest animals like the turtles. All of them eat plants. Most animals actually don't even eat meat. The carnivores are the only ones that eat meat because their anatomy and physiology can allow them to eat meat, digest meat. They have small intestines. They have hotter hydrochloric acid. They have the canines. They have the sharp tongue. They have the claws. They are made to eat meat. Not to mention that they have to sleep 20 to 22 hours a day just so that can digest properly. And we're nothing like the carnivores. When we look at the omnivores, we look nothing like bears, dogs, hogs, chickens. We don't belong in that vertebrae. Many people think that we are omnivores. Our bodies can deal with meat. God made our body so it heals on its own. But after a while, all that acidity and lack of energy starts to break down the body. If you're not bringing in enough raw, like alkaline living foods, energy, simple sugars, your body is gonna end up getting sick more frequently. Your body, like God didn't create sickness. Like, we're not meant to get sick. So if you're getting sick at least once a year, look at your diet. You gotta see what you're eating. Like, we're not meant to get sick. And it's because of the food we eat and the lifestyle we live. It's away from nature. Omnivores, again, they're very similar to carnivores, but they actually eat more plants, more tubers, berries, grasses than meat. If we look at the grizzly bear, for example, this was recorded on National Geographic. They were documenting the life of grizzly bear, trying to see what it eats, and they named it the carnivore. But once they looked at their diet, once they looked at the grizzly bear's diet, they noticed that 65% of its diet was grass, 15% was tubers and berries, and then the 7% was meat. And they noted that the adult bears ate mostly the fat, and it was the cubs that ate more of the meat. But omnivores, they don't really eat that much meat. And then you have the herbivores. They were created for plant matter. They have up to like 7 stomachs. They have super long intestinal tracts to digest. They have many molars, teeth. They grind sideways, so they are designed to eat and digest vegetable matter. We can too, and it's good. Our anatomy and physiology is designed to eat plants as well. But our species, the frugivores, which are your primates, the gorillas and chimpanzees, and when I say that, I'm not saying that we came from monkeys. That's a complete lie. I'm just saying that if we were placed on the earth without knowing nothing of what we can eat, and we saw the different species and vertebrates, I feel like God gave us the monkeys as a way to see, okay, we kind of look like them. We have the hands, we have the teeth, our whole body is kind of the same. We walk on both feet. So, okay, let's see what these guys eat. Maybe that's what we should be eating. I feel like God kind of made it like that so we could kind of know and see and observe. That's kind of what we need right now, because we are eating the worst foods ever. Like, I don't, just stepping back, I'm like, how did we get here? We're eating food wrapped in plastic that's in a box that has 20 to 50 different ingredients that we can't even pronounce, that we don't even know where it comes from, made in laboratories, manufactured. I don't know how we got here. That provides literally nothing to your body. It actually steals from your body. There's too much acid. There's not enough alkalinity in your body to neutralize that. Your body's gonna start sucking calcium. Your body's gonna start raising cholesterol. Your body's gonna start swelling, creating tumors to protect itself from all the acid. But anyway, so when we look at the frugivores, we see that their diet is fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. Our anatomy and physiology is almost identical to theirs. The fastest healing that we get from the people that we treat, that come to our house to seek natural healing, we put them on all fruits, herbal teas. We make them go out in nature, connect, touch the grass, get the sun, breathe in the fresh air, go in the forest, taking cold showers. They heal super fast. The amount of healing we get in 1 week from these people, diabetics that are scared to eat fruit because their doctors tell them that you can't eat fruit, they come and eat only fruit and their blood sugar normalizes in 1 week. People with rheumatoid arthritis come and they're significantly healed. They're able to go up and down the stairs. They're able to move without pain in 1 week. When they come, they're so shocked at what is coming out of their body. They would never expect that this is in their body. This mucoid, all this mucus, these toxins, and we just simply connect them with what God created. Like, this is how we're meant to live, connected to nature. God created the earth specifically for us human beings, has every single thing we needed. It's our medicine, sadly to say now, but we need to use it as our medicine. But it's just supposed to be how we live, eating what the earth provides, connecting with the ground, breathing the oxygen that the plants provide. Like, think about this. If we didn't have any plants, any green, we would die. That shows the importance of the plants and the trees. When we're surrounded by them, there's a richer presence of oxygen there. The best food by far is the food God created, the plants. There is no way you can make food more nutritious by cooking it. You realize, if you were to make a fire and you were to stick your hand, you would burn. If you were to stick any living thing, even if it's not living, it's gonna burn and it's gonna be destroyed. So in essence, that's what we're doing when we cook our foods. We're destroying it. And so you can't make anything more nutritious if you cook it. And so that is why we follow an 80-20 diet, 80% raw, 20% cooked as our normal lifestyle. Some days, of course, during celebrations or gatherings, we fluctuate 50-50. But primarily, we live an 80-20 lifestyle. But the people that want to heal naturally, depending on the case, we put them on 100% fruit, or at least 100% raw food, fruits and vegetables, because we know that those have the most amount of energy. It has the simple sugars that the body needs, and that is what is going to heal them and benefit them the most. There's a reason why we see the longest living humans on the planet are all plant eaters. They eat off of the earth. We see that the cultures and communities that live off of cooked foods, that live in areas where they can't eat raw foods, like in the colder climates, they live much less. In the time of the Greeks, every generation that ate fruits as their food lived 200 years every single time. We see the Hunza community in the Himalayan mountains. They live up to 140 years. They do a lot of fasting, they eat a lot of plants. We see that the cultures in Asia, where they're living a more alkaline lifestyle, eating more plants, they live longer. But yeah, we see all the cultures and communities, the islanders that eat predominantly fruit and raw foods, they live much longer and better quality lives. At 90, they're still moving, they're still exercising, they're still climbing, they're still laughing, they're still moving freely. They're still able to bear children. Their body functions properly, there's no pain, they don't get sick. There's a reason why in the beginning, in the book of Genesis, we see that the average age of a person was 912. We see people living to 900 years old. This is because they had the purest form of water, purest form of air, purest form of vegetables and fruits. All their fruits had seeds, unlike today. Their water wasn't contaminated, there was no pollution. They were able to live to 900. They were connected with the earth. There was no modern technology, there was no radiation, there was no pollution and heavy metals dumped into the oceans. They could live up to 900 years old because they were living according to nature. They were living according to how God told Adam and Eve, and Adam and Eve passed it down to their children and their children and their children, until after years and years, after generation and generation, we started moving away further and further and further away from God. And we see that the result, death, quicker death, and of course all the other abominations and sins. I'll say one more thing. When a new child is born, a new baby, back in ancient times, thousands of years ago, when the mother was healthy, the little baby, the child, would be raised on the mother's milk for at least the first 2 years. And now science has shown that the first 2 years of a baby's birth, of a baby's life, are the most that baby is gonna grow in 2 years ever in its life. So it's gonna grow the most in those first 2 years than it ever will again. So those first 2 years are very important. It's supposed to feed off of this mother's milk. Now I want to show you the macronutrients of this mother's milk. 7.5% is carbohydrates, simple sugars. 7.5%. 3.5% is lipids, it's fats. That is because of our lymphatic system, the system that deals with the acids and eliminates the acids. And then 0.9% is proteins. Not even 1% of the mother's milk is protein. And the baby grows big and strong. God designed it that way. Our species is not meant to eat protein. And I can say this because I've lived that lifestyle. I was eating 200 grams of protein every single day, every single meal. I was counting the protein. I needed chicken, I needed beef, I needed protein powder, I needed Greek yogurt, I needed protein. Protein, 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 I lived it. And now living this lifestyle, raw, trying to stay away from as much protein as I can, away from as much processed foods as I can, sticking to raw, alkaline foods. I'm just like shocked at the results I'm seeing in my own body. I can build muscle faster, and my muscle, it doesn't look the same. It's like I train half as much as I used to train, and I'm still building the muscle. I'm still getting stronger. I have more energy and endurance. I have less pain. I get sore less. My body can, there's so much alkalinity in my body that it will neutralize those lactic acids that are produced from movement. So I get sore less and I recover much faster. And I am just healing. I'm able to get, my body is able to start getting rid of toxins. And when I first started, my urine started turning more yellow and having sediment. This is a good sign. This means that your kidneys are actually working and you're able to filter out those acids from the body. If your urine is clear, it means you're just getting rid of your electrolytes. And that's not good. You need your electrolytes. So when your urine is yellow and it has sediment, it's cloudy, there's a little bit of mucus, that's good. Your body is actually eliminating. Your kidneys are actually working properly as they should. And so my body's able to heal and eliminate. And so many positive things came when I started eating plant-based. There are so many plant-based bodybuilders. This whole myth, there's a whole myth of protein, and it's killing so many people. It's destroying so many bodies. Our species is not meant to eat protein. The human body is a carbon-based being. It's not a nitrogen-based being. We can get our nitrogen from the air, like we're good. We can get our hydrogen and carbon from the plants that, they produce that. We're good with that. Even some foods, some herbs provide us with all of the essential amino acids. Look at Irish sea moss. Look at kelp, like white oak bark, plantain leaf, a black walnut hull, burdock root, horsetail, or shade grass. Thousands and thousands of different herbs. They all provide us with everything we need, all of our amino acids, all of our simple proteins, simple fats, simple sugars and carbohydrates. Like, they have everything we need. The only reason we want to eat meat is because it's been passed down. It's our culture, it's our tradition. Family gatherings, there has to be meat. There's no reason to be eating meat. Another thing is, we only enjoy meat because we season it. We first cook it or marinate it in herbs, in salt. If you were to eat raw meat, you wouldn't want to eat meat. If you had to go hunt your own meat, rip it apart, like, we need to use different tools to be able to do that. The fruit tree, it's literally just like handing us their fruit. It's like, here, take this, this is for you. But the animals, they just run away. They don't want to be killed. And then don't even get me started on the mass, like, agriculture, animal livestock farming. That is just so wicked and evil, and it's destroying this planet. And by eating these meat products, we are basically saying, hey, keep doing this. Keep abusing these animals and giving us this toxic food. Yeah, keep destroying the planet. But if we were to start planting our own fruit trees and vegetables, not only is it going to start to heal the planet, but it's going to provide us with the food that we actually need, the food God created. And there's so much information, but this is kind of just a summary of a lot of little different points. But it's all to say God created us so perfectly, and he created the best food on the planet ever. It was our first food, and it's gonna be our last. So might as well eat it now. I hope this message blessed you guys. I hope you could learn something. If you have any comments or questions or concerns, just let me know in the comments section. Like this video so that the kingdom message can be reached to all nations. It's the only message Jesus preached. Father, I ask that your will be done, that your kingdom come on earth just like it is in heaven. Amen. God bless you guys. See you in the next video.